All right, hey, it's Coach Michael here. I am the owner and creator of Sparta OCR Training. And today I'm going to introduce you to Sai. He has done absolutely amazing. He's just finished our 28-day OCR Warrior Challenge and has absolutely crushed it. And he's about 2.5 weeks in right now, actually, into our next 12-week block. So Sai, I really want to thank you so much for being here today. And I really wanted to bring you on because your journey, like what you've accomplished in such a short time, has been absolutely amazing. And I know this is going to inspire a lot of men and show them what's possible. So it's just like you have changed so much in 4 weeks and then another 2 now that it's just off the charts. And that's really going to show people what's possible. So I want to talk about that first. So, Sai, if you would just tell us what were some of the biggest changes that you noticed over that first 28 days of this program? Tell us a little bit about your results.
Well, initially I didn't know what to expect. I just knew that I was out of shape and was undisciplined in my eating and workout regimen. Typically, my mindset was if I ate less and worked out more, I would lose weight and just be generally healthier.
So you were caught in that trap thinking, oh, I can eat whatever I want. I just have to work out harder, right?
Yes.
That's big things that you told me. And now coming into this, I know we were just talking the other day and you're like, I didn't know how much nutrition played into this. Like when you said it's 80%, you couldn't grasp that. And now that you've been through the program, like just share a little bit about that.
Yeah, I the first month, 99% of what I ate was just whole foods, fruits and vegetables, nothing processed. And I was very strict with that, and I did the workouts too. I was in the wilderness for about 5 days of this 6.5 weeks, so I couldn't weigh myself those days, but literally in 6.5 weeks, every day I've gotten on the scale with the exception of maybe 5 or 6, I've lost weight. And so
what did you lose in the first 4 weeks, Sai?
Oh, I'm down 23 right now, so probably...
You were 18? Was it 18 in the first 4 weeks?
Close to that, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It literally, if you look at the chart, though, it just dives. And I thought, 2 pounds a week, in 3 months, I'll be quite a bit lighter, 20 pounds lighter, and I hit that in like 5 weeks. And honestly, the workouts are tough. I haven't been hungry for the most part, but you talk about empty carbs and good fats, and those are the 2 main things that are different about my diet now is no more crappy carbs, and the fats that I am eating are better fats. And yeah, I mean, I'm wearing clothes I haven't worn in 6 years.
That's awesome, man.
Well, and the turning point for me with this whole thing was at the very beginning, you had me run 1.5 miles, and I barely finished, which didn't surprise me. But then towards the end, I ran 2.5 miles, and my average pace was like a minute faster, and I could have gone farther or faster, one of the two. And so I really realized how much like these kettlebells and the planks and the hip thrusts and all these things that I kind of make fun of my wife about because she'd do them, how important they were and how all these little tiny muscles that you were developing really added value to what I was trying to do. Because I'm get in there 3 sets of 8, hit your muscle group 3 to 5 times, 2 times a week, just really old school lifting philosophy stuff. And but I'm definitely more fit. I sleep less. I've got more energy. And I was thinking I was going to struggle with the eating part of it, but the first week was kind of tough. But after that, I'm, eating my elk burger and chicken breasts and nectarines, and it's good.
That's awesome, man. So was that a really, like, it's kind of hard for me to understand sometimes, the mindset of most people like you, most guys over 40 years old, but like you're talking about empty carbs and healthy fats. That was just a total revelation for you, wasn't it? You didn't know. Like I say, carbs aren't bad for you. It's the carbs that you eat are bad for you. Like, what'd you think when I told you that?
I mean, I believed it because I've heard it enough, but I travel all the time. I get $80 a day to eat, so I have a blank check for food, and I'm always rushing. And as you know, people who are in my situation, we run into the gas station and grab what's there, and there's nothing there that's good for you ever.
Never, no.
And so, I had to change what I do. So when I land, the first place I go is a grocery store, and I buy some, maybe chicken breasts at Safeway or a vegetable tray or something to throw in the fridge while I'm traveling. So I did have to change the way I do things, but yeah, I did not realize the trans fats and the sugars, how big a deal it was to losing fat. Because I don't think that I'm working out any harder than I have before. It's different types of exercises and eating better. And it's awesome.
And like, you're just changing the way you eat, but it's not hard. It's a simple plan to follow, right? You said it was a little different getting used to, but.
Yep. A lot more. I have to do meal prep. I cook a lot of my protein on Sunday afternoons because I've got a lot of time. So I'll cook like 3 pounds of chicken breast, 3 pounds of elk burger, and then I'll grill like a couple pounds of elk steaks, and I'll just eat that through the week. And then towards the end, I'll run out of stuff and maybe have to cook some more. So it's just changing where I put my time. Instead of cooking 2 or 3 meals a day or running to a restaurant for a half an hour, 45 minutes a day, I put that time more into preparation. And then when it's time to eat something, I just run and grab it out of the fridge and, weigh 4 ounces of elk steak and have an apple, and it's good. So.
All right, fantastic. Now you're talking about that you had tried out, you were kind of in that typical weightlifting, hitting your 3-4 sets, isolating, Frankensteining the body up. Let's talk about what have you noticed? How has your body responded to this? What have you noticed in strength gains and just the general overall well-being of how your body feels from this type of training that you're doing now?
Well, one thing that this really identified, that warrior flow, is how tight I am. My hamstrings are incredibly tight. My shoulders, not flexible at all. So, as far as how I feel stronger. I don't feel like I did when I used to bench 250 pounds, but I feel like I can do the things I love to do, like run in the mountains, hike around, not get tired. I mean, on that float trip, I had 70 pounds on my back, and I packed out 3 miles, and this was after I slept, 4 to 6 hours a night in the wilderness with a group of people, and I kept up with horses. So, yeah, I couldn't have done that a month and a half ago. I wouldn't have even thought about it. So it was, so for me, it's not like I'm a bunch stronger like I was when I lifted weights. I'm just healthier. I'm more overall fit, which I think is better for me anyways. I mean, I'm a big person, and I can throw weight on just by thinking about it. And just where I'm at in life, I mean, my body's starting to deteriorate more and more with my age, and getting stronger isn't necessarily the goal. But with that being said, I definitely am stronger. It's just in a different way that I've ever thought about.
In a way that applies to life, right? Like, we're training for life, making us function better in everything we do.
Yeah. So, but it's good. My wife, I think you asked, what was most important thing for me to accomplish or recognition or something when we first started this. And I said, I just want my wife to tell me I'm doing a good job. And she's like, I can't believe you're doing what you're doing. And
How does that make you feel for like your wife to like give you that compliment?
good. She's tough to get a compliment out of sometimes. So
Yeah. All right. And so you've got I mean, incredible, amazing results. You've increased your stamina, your endurance. You're more fit, doing things that you weren't able to do. Like you're a busy guy, like you told me. You're traveling a lot. Are you spending like hours a day at the gym and another hours again doing all this cardio and stuff? I mean, what's your life look like right now, Sai? Tell me a little bit about that.
well, one thing that you triggered in my mind was non-negotiables very early in the process. And so what people tend to do is they get hung up on reacting to what's right in front of them. But one of my non-negotiables was to just, stick to the diet plan and work out when I needed to work out. So, the first week or two was an adjustment because I would typically do X, but I've got to get Y done. And so now what I do is you suggested having a specific workout time. What I do now, because I travel and I don't have a schedule that's easy to do that with, is in the morning identify what time I'm going to work out. So right now I eat 5 or 6 meals a day. I get up, I usually have a shake and some protein at about 6:37, and then about every 2.5 hours I have my other 4 or 5 meals. And then I'll work out usually midday. I don't like doing it before or after 5 because I can't go to sleep. So I typically work out for about, the commitment on average is about an hour and 15 minutes between the warm up, the workout, the cool down, taking a shower. So it's no more than what I was doing before. I have a home gym, so I didn't have to drive to the gym like a lot of people would. But all this stuff, if you throw a couple $100 into it, you can have pull-up bars, kettlebells, all the stuff you need to do to just do this in your own house. So it's just, cutting out the junk time, just like the crappy carbs. I'm cutting out the crappy time that I'm spending on things that don't matter. So.
All right, fantastic. So does this seem pretty crazy to go back to what you were doing before, just trying to pound yourself and hammer yourself with heavy weights, and then just thinking that you could eat whatever you wanted to because you're training so hard?
Yeah. Honestly, I wished I would have understood this 20 years ago.
20 years ago?
Yep. And my son-in-law, he's at Ranger School right now, and he's been doing push-ups, burpees, sit-ups, pull-ups for 1.5 years training for that. And he kept telling me, "Si, all you got to do is this stuff." And I was like, no. And I didn't believe him. And so he goes off to Ranger School. I start doing this, and he's going to be floored when he gets back because I'm in pretty good shape, and he'll be proud.
So training like an OCR warrior is a lot like training like a Special Forces Ranger warrior.
It is. It's the same mindset that he talks about, and I mean, I did some research on burpees. The guy who invented those things back in the 1930s, like he was just trying to come up with some exercise that could test fitness. So anyways, did a bunch of research on that. He's from the Army, and I'm like, what crazy person thought of this thing? It's horrible.
Horrible, effective.
Yeah.
So what's been different this time around as well, Sai? I mean, so we have this community of men. There's accountability. There's support. What's made a difference this time, which really made an impact with you as far as that goes?
So for me, I'm a little bit different. I don't necessarily need somebody telling me you can do it. I know I can do it. It's a matter of me doing it. for me, what I needed was somebody who knew what they were doing. I needed a program and I needed structure, and I just needed to follow the rules. With that being said, having the guys on Facebook in the group has helped encourage me. And there was the one time, it was like 8 o'clock at night. I was exhausted. I'm like, I don't even want to work out tonight. And then I was showing my son, who's 20, he's in college, he's in great shape. I was showing him kind of what I was doing, and I pulled up this video of you, and oh, here's the coach, and you were talking about motivation. I'm like, oh, that just spoke to me, so I need to go work out. So
the message came through right at the perfect time. So
yeah,
carry you through and get into it.
Yep.
All right, awesome. Well, hey, Sai, what would you say? Maybe someone's looking at the program, they're on the fence deciding if it's worth it or not to invest in this program. What would you say to them?
So the only reason I could see that somebody wouldn't try it, they would say money, but at the end of the day, your health is worth a lot more than some money. I would say at the end of the day, it's about changing your lifestyle and your thinking on what's important, whether that's what you eat or where you spend your time. And you've just got to get out of your comfort zone and get back to where you used to be or where you could be. And it's the first couple weeks that's tough. And in your mind, you've got to just be committed to the food thing. And it may not be perfect at first, but like you said, get 1% better every day. And then just know that you're going to dedicate at least an hour to an hour and 15 minutes a day to exercising. And if you make your list of non-negotiables, and those two things are the eating and the exercise, it's kind of a no-brainer. As long as you can stick with it, at least for me, I'm not kidding. I am dropping weight like crazy. I figured 3 weeks ago, okay, I made the big jump. I've lost a lot of weight. And in the last 2.5 weeks, I've lost another 10 pounds. So I do, and I know enough about nutrition. Maybe I just didn't listen to it because it wasn't convenient and it was hard because I was busy with life and kids, which is another thing. Part of the reason people can't do something like this is because their lifestyle revolves around something that doesn't help support this. So Americans typically overcommit. A lot of parents do. They're driving their kids everywhere. They're working extra. They're trying to pay bills. And what I would say, and we did this 10 years ago with our children, and then we got out of it, was make this part of your family's lifestyle. Teach them to live the way you should have been living. And, don't do it cold turkey, but 10 years ago, my wife and I started doing these little sprint triathlons. And then that summer, we're like, all right, everyone in the family is going to go to the Big Sky State Games and we're going to compete in something. So we had a mountain biker, we had track people, we had one of the kids did a little kid triathlon, So, make this about not just yourself, but your family and your lifestyle. Because at the end of the day, that little trophy that says you played soccer doesn't go very far. Whereas if you avoid putting on 30 pounds like I did, that'll help you for the rest of your life. I don't know. Does that make sense? That's
awesome, Sai, man. You are an absolute total rock star. I really want to thank you for sharing your story with us. I know it's really going to help a lot of people. And man, it's been amazing watching you through the first 4 weeks and even into this first 2.5 weeks into this 12-week block that you're in right now. And I can't wait to see where you end up there and beyond. And man, and you're a strong guy too. You are a big guy. You're a strong guy. And you came here for our OCR simulation that day, man. And it was awesome watching how strong you are. You just pick those stones up like nothing. You are a strong guy. But to see how you just have been shrinking down, maintaining that strength and really dialing in and getting your life in order is a total inspiration. And and anyone can do it. It's just about that commitment. It's about making that commitment every day and staying the course. So thanks so much, Sai. It's been great having you on here. So have crushed the rest of your journey for life, man. We're in this for life, for the long haul.